who actively contributed to this cause, Shri R.K. Goyal, and Dr. Samit now. And with that, we request Shri Vipendra Kashavar to please come up and honor Dr. Aruna Sharma. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. Sharma.
Injection biochar will also help in getting some of the CO2 footprint from that. Of course, it will not become now it will bad boy. It will not become a best boy. No chance. But it will also move over time and improve the overall efficiency or performance as far as CO2 is concerned. I do agree that for making it as green as say gas-based DRI and EAS to lot of carbon capture and utilization is to be done. Because this carbon direct avoidance from blast furnace opportunity is 20-25%, not more than that. Carbon capture and utilization will also come in a way. But at what scale, when, I don't know. But kind of the point is that blast furnace will also mature over time and may not look as bad as it is today. So that is one aspect. But yes, we're looking far ahead of time. Kind of. So if you say 3 years, you take that time frame. So Tata Steel has announced that we'll be able to go below 1.8, mostly for the blast furnace, from experiencing company, bit of scrap, and some say renewable energy, clean energy source, and closing some of the say coal-based power. And efficiently use the gas available within the. So beyond that, if we have an ambitious target of going carbon neutral by 2045, then if carbon capture and utilization is not coming in a very big way, blast furnace may not be able to serve the purpose. Then, of course, this gas-based availability and then migration towards hydrogen. Of course, blast furnace will also accept some amount of hydrogen when it's available at a price and in bulk quantity. But yes, gas-based DRI will be required. Will be most. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Looking at the time, I think we have time for one quick round of common questions what I was thinking about. Where would you like reaction for that? One thing is there that one point is coming out very, very clear that 50% of the steel is being made by the DRI or the induction furnace route. When 300 million tons we are talking about by 2030, and beyond that we are talking about even going for 450 million tons, then there is no escape than focusing on technology for DRI. And that is where the solution lies. And also a shift of the blast furnace slowly towards the DRI route when we are moving ahead. So we will have the DRI route much more stronger coming out with blast furnace, and literally the induction route should be the tapering route. If we are talking of zero carbon emission or low pollution overall when we are heading towards it. So from the experts' input, what has come down very, very clearly, which I will divide into two. One, corrections in the policy is one, to encourage the DRI. So there has to be a PLI kind of a system to encourage the DRI shift. So that is something in policymakers I'd like Sonu to comment upon. Second correction to the policymakers is when we are asking this kind of a shift towards the short-term thing, again an incentive from coal to syngas, where the coal availability and syngas investment in the cluster has to be encouraged consciously when we are going ahead with it by removing the pick points which are available there in the policy. And third, which is coming out very, very clear is that you have to ensure how tapering of induction furnaces is going to add on to DRI and encourage the big players to invest more in DRI route than again the blast furnaces, where one generation we have lost because new investments are all blast furnace, coal-based, coking coal-based investments. But next round of investment should come again on the DRI route. That's 3 points from the policy. And 3 points from the ball is in your court as to your preparedness for investment for shifts to the new technology of how you are going to build upon it to have the small syngas availability to non-renewable energy availability and its usage, and graduating to the new technology when it comes. We have a window of 5 years because what non-tariff barriers would have come for high carbon emissions from the western world has taken a back seat because we all are shifting to the coast. Now this 5-year window, yes, we can be the leaders. So I would like to get the comments on this. So I request everybody to restrict the comments to 2 minutes, starting from Mr. Goyal.
Hello. Thank you, ma'am. As far as the policy changes are concerned, one is basically support to the complete DRI industry. And support is basically like in the PLI scheme, whatever is incremental production, but they will do incremental production provided there is some surety, some assurance to them that they will be able to produce uninterruptedly, unlike the recent change in policy where government has to impose export duty. Now, if such export duty or some such things are there, definitely there is a big impact on the complete industry, and it has dampened the margins for the complete industry. Directly or indirectly, they were not exporting DRI, but then it gets consumed in one product or another. So, any policy or anything what we are doing, there was a definitely very logical reason why it was done, because the market was overheated and all the projects, all the infrastructure projects were suffering very badly. But at the same time, people would like to have a consistency in policy for a little longer term. Number two, like those who are taking efforts in eventually producing green steel or reducing carbon dioxide, is there a way to incentivize that? Number three, if there is a way, like globally what is happening, auto industry is supposed to use green steel to some extent. In COP26, when Joe Biden and the World Economic Forum, they formed First Movers Coalition, where almost 55 people pledged that at least 10% of their steel purchases will be green. And there is a carbon tax on steel which is not green. If there are some such things which are implemented in the country, then there will be motivation for the people to reduce carbon dioxide. Even if there is some incremental cost to some people, it will compensate them. So if the regulations are there for the auto industry, which is highly organized, that they have to use green steel, I am sure much larger production of green steel will start happening and companies will start investing into that. As far as we are concerned, we are fully prepared to set up another green steel plant. One plant will start producing green steel in just a matter of few days. Another plant we are fully ready as long as the technology is available and as long as there is some incentive. Thank you.
Maybe a little bit from the international perspective, what Mr. Gold said is absolutely correct. I mean, the pressure for transforming the steel industry comes from the customers. We can see more and more that automobile companies, but also companies for white goods, are strongly requesting green steel from their producers, and they're even willing to pay more and in advance already supporting the investments into it. We just recently signed a contract for electric arc furnace at Salzgitter AG. There are forerunners with the Salzgitter project, and the CEO told me that they are now already getting money for free steel they will produce in 3 years. So the industry is changing quite fast, and of course, the policymakers have to ensure that these investments are sustainable. What is necessary that these investments can earn money in the future. Otherwise, as I said before, it's difficult for clean steel production based on DRI, based on hydrogen to compete with fast transports. This is, we all agree this is impossible. So politics it's necessary to make the boundary conditions to make this investment sustainable in the future. And there are different regimes in the world already. In Europe, there is a strong move towards the clean steel production and reduction of CO2 emissions by 2040 by more than 50%. Other countries also doing it by law already, like Japan, but also in Korea there are thoughts about it. So it's a movement which we cannot stop, and we as a plant builder, of course, have to support the technology.
Thank you, Madam. I'll take 3 minutes. The first thing is, I agree that we have to taper off the production to blast furnaces. Maybe one day, the world will come to a conclusion that no more seaborne coal cargoes will be allowed. So what will happen on that? We should be ready for that. Number 2, maybe one day G7 group will take a decision that America, Australia, Venezuela, Colombia, Russia, they will not export any coal or they will not extract any coking coal. What will happen on that? I think the answer is, for a country like India, is only DRI. And DRI means a DRI plant, new plant, like Oklahoma model, I think 200,000 to 400,000, which we directed way back, and also HYU. The next point is, and all these plants should be enabled or capable from the day one, that the day we have the hydrogen available, we can inject hydrogen. Point number 3, we have 600,000, that is 6 lakh, 600,000 MSMEs in this country. We have 47 large, right from 2-wheelers to 4-wheelers, automobiles in the industry. Most of these industries are starting from Haryana, from Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, and this entire western belt is capable of generating renewable energy either through solar or through wind. All these 600,000 MSMEs and all these the automobile manufacturers should be asked to use only renewable energy. Why do they need the thermal power plant energy? Why? Their energy, they should be given time that by 2030, you will use only and only renewables. They can always ask that give me the green steel. And they are still using the electricity from the thermal power plant. This is ridiculous. They should be stopped, barred, and that should be policy. The steel industry use only 12,000 megawatt power. 80,000 megawatt power is used by the Indian domestic users. And balance power is out of 245,000 megawatt. Balance power is used by automobiles, by small scale industry, engineering industry, and MSMEs. So this 120 to 150,000 megawatt of power, which is going to the rest of the country, that should be only through the renewables. Before they ask the green steel, they should change their electrical inputs. They should switch over to renewable energies. Then only we can address this issue, otherwise we cannot address this issue. I'm not against hydrogen, I'm for it. I'm telling that what will happen tomorrow, the world takes the decision, no more seaborne coking coal cargoes. What will happen? We should be prepared, because India will be a big sufferer if this happens. So today is the right time. Before 2047, that is 100th year of our independence, we should switch over to at least 70 to 80% DRI route. And Mr. Woody, you have a great career, great future in this country. I think you should shift your head office also from Sharmati to here. This is what I can tell. Thank you.
appreciate Mr. Sharma finding me a new place to live while I'm shifting. But I think just from an international perspective, I think some of the things Mr. Sharma warns of is already starting to occur. Export credit agency financing is an example of something that should help steelmakers globally execute large capex-intensive projects. European ECAs now are not supporting any coal-based projects, and that will have a trickle-down effect over time. I'm not a policymaker. We are focused on technology, and as we look at what we can do to support this transition, I think Mr. Sharma's hit on it multiple times. Every plant that we design today, and even the plants that we have out there already, we work with those owners to have their plant capable of transitioning to hydrogen, using other gases, etc., to lower their CO2 footprint today and tomorrow. We're also looking to the future as you talk about using more and more renewable energies, as Mr. Goyle said. It makes no sense to use renewable energies to make hydrogen, then to burn it in a heater. So we have a lot of technology development around an electric heater. So that's prepared for tomorrow. So there's a lot of steps going on with our partners, Prime Metals, SMS Goldberg, etc., that we're working very hard to be prepared now and for the future as companies go through this transition. We're excited about it. We're prepared for it. We're looking forward to it.
What is green steel? There is kind of a perception. We really do not know what is green steel. So I believe there should be a definition of green steel. And whoever is meeting the definition should be incentivized. So that is the way to move ahead. There should be some quantification and then some incentives that will help. So this will be what is answer to the policy part.
Thank you so much, each of the panelists. And a lot of work for SIMA. Like, you have to list out the policies very crystal clear, starting with saying it very clear that steel makers in India should not be held for ransom for non-supply of coal or coking coal in future. And therefore, it is very important the day is today that one, define what we mean by green steel, list out the policies, 3, 4, what has come out very crystal clear, that these correction and incentivization in the policy has to come out very clear, and corresponding technology usage and corrections when we are moving ahead by the members of the SIMA, as well as triggering to the big players who are the blast furnace schools to become your members in future in coming 5 years. So I see all big players in India as members of the DRI mechanism when we are moving ahead. So with that kind of a scenario, if you come up with this kind of thing, that is something to be pushed in the steel industry.
So by name we are known as a responsible manufacturer.
No, but they will be, the DRI is the underlying principle. It will be both under your umbrella.